All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Wanda Coleman Theater, to the third and final day of the Southern California Poetry Festival. Let's make some noise. Let's get some good energy in here. My name is Jimmy Vega. I'm the Associate Director of Beyond Baroque. I'd like to start by acknowledging Beyond Baroque's presence on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Tonga peoples. We acknowledge the wrong done to these peoples through settler colonialism, genocidal practices, and the violent disposition of their land. As an arts organization, we are committed to uplifting Indigenous communities, their stories, and cultures. For those who don't know, Beyond Baroque is Los Angeles' oldest literary arts center, located here in Venice, California. Founded in 1968 by George Drury Smith, first as an experimental literary magazine, before reimagining itself and becoming the literary home we know it as today. We are based out of the original Venice City Hall and help support writers and help cultivate new writing through our extensive program of writing workshops, readings, and performances. We offer a number of workshops online via Zoom, such as our free weekly Monday night fiction workshop facilitated by Raquel Baker, and our historic Wednesday night poetry workshop currently facilitated by Arthur Kazakian. Similarly, we offer several paid in-person and online intensive workshops throughout the year. Next week, we'll feature a special critique workshop with Dorianne Locks and Kim Adonisio. And later in December, we'll host a workshop with poet Timothy Steele. And aside from our workshops, we offer over 100 readings throughout the year. And currently in our Mike Kelly Gallery, we're exhibiting Anonymous Stellar Ravines, Volume 1 by Byron Baker and our poet in residence, Will Alexander. And so all of this cannot happen without the support of our community here, without the support of our members. So if you're a member, we thank you. And if you're not one already, do inquire in the bookstore, $60 for an individual membership for the year. And all those funds really go to supporting the work we do here in the space. And, it supports the many years that we hope to have this space continue to operate. Before we begin, big shout out, big thanks to all of our staff for making today and this weekend all possible. That's Quentin Ring, Yvonne Salinas, Michelle Raphael, Eric Alberg, Genesis Perez, Rianne Chavez, Nick Foreman, Tyler Newfield, Leon Rubenhold, Antonio Radic, all of our volunteers from She Writes, from Venice High School. So we thank you, and let's make some noise for them too, because they're holding it down. And another thanks to all of our sponsors this year, the DCA, the NEA, Letras Latinas, UNAM Los Angeles, and the MFA Creative Writing Program at California Institute of the Arts. So we've got a terrific showcase planned here for you this afternoon. We're going to kick it off with the Poetry Lounge. The Poetry Lounge is definitely in the house. And here to say a few words about the Poetry Lounge and to welcome our poets is the incredible Jasmine Williams.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Come on, talk back to me. Good afternoon. All right. I'm so happy to be here. Jimmy, thank you so much. The Poetry Lounge is a nonprofit organization now. If you'd heard about us, we've been around for 26 years, and that was founded by Shehan Van Cleef, Dante Bosco, Poetry Smith, and Jamel Hooper back in 1996. Officially 1998, we started over at the Greenway Court Theater hosting open mics, and we've been there ever since. And so I am the executive director as of 2021. And in doing so, yes, thank you. And and in doing so, it's very important to me to bridge the gap and to put voices on display for opportunity and just for, right? And it's also working with other collaborators. So we thank you so much for the invitation. And that is a part of our mission to now be able to collaborate with wonderful poetry organizations around. So I am really, really honored to present 3 poets that I have been seeing within my community of my generation since I've been here. These poets are astounding. They're beautiful. They have the pen game and they have the performance. And so I am super, super honored to now introduce you to Soul Stuff. Y'all make some noise. Beth May, and also Blue. And I encourage you that when you are, when the poets are up here tonight, if you hear something that you love and something that speaks to you, talk back, snap, and talk, you know what I mean? I know we're in a theater, but this is about exchange, yes? All right, so first poet is Soul Stuff. Y'all make some noise. And I love bios, so when I read something in a bio that is just like dope, y'all start shouting and making noise. Is a spoken word poet and teaching artist born in upstate New York, but currently based in Los Angeles. He has hosted, produced, and headlined in over 150 shows and programs, collaborating with groups like the Poetry Lab, Melrose Poetry Bureau, and has featured on Voices in Power, All Deaf Poetry, and Trap Poetry Jam, amongst other places. When not ruminating on all things poetry, you can find him wreaking havoc in your local game stores. Beth May is a writer and actor based in Los Angeles. Her solo show, Beth Wants to D, premiered at the Lyric Hyperion last year and is headed to Edinburgh Fringe Festival in 2025. Y'all, give it up for that. Beth plays bumbling stepfather Ron Stampler on Dungeons and Daddies, an improv comedy podcast that boasts over 2 million downloads per month. Her published works includes the poetry book, The Immortal Soul Salvage Yard, and spoken word album, Sunday Scaries. Find her on Instagram and Twitter at Hey Beth May. Last but certainly not least, we have Blue, y'all make some noise, also known as Josiah, a 23-year-old writer, poet, and spoken word artist. He hails from Smithfields, Virginia, by way of Cincinnati, Ohio, and is a proud Howard University graduate. Blue has featured with the likes of Busboys and Poets, Pure Poetry Live, Trap Poetry, the NAACP, and True Religion. He has performed in front of Tuma Basa, IDK, Angela Bassett, and Tina Knowles. He published a poetry book, Orchids and Blues, in May of 2022 through New Degree Press. Y'all, coming up to the stage first, Soul Stuff, make some noise. Let's go, let's get it.
If y'all can hear me, can you say yeah? If y'all having a good time, can you say hell yeah? Hell yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much to Jimmy Vega, Beyond Baroque, and the lovely Jasmine for allowing me to be here along with all the rest of the DPL poets. I owe a lot of debt of gratitude to DPL for being one of the first institutions of poetry that I came across in Los Angeles. I started writing in about 2017. And one of my favorite places to visit was the Poetry Lounge, founded by Dante Bosco, one of the only Filipino-American poets that I know and one of my favorite influences. And his sister, Ariana Bosco, hosted a space called Our Mic, which is also another place that raised me, so I feel a lot of kinship to the open mic space in Los Angeles. Speaking towards that, I wanted to share a poem that's kind of a dedication to DPL that I haven't shared in a very long time. I wrote this after another mentor of mine, Alicia Wise, and this poem is called Lessons I Learned from the Lounge. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. Lessons I learned from the lounge after Alicia Wise. 1, an enormous heart, which is to say how to be proud of loving yourself first while still holding space for so many others. 2, to hold space. DPL is different things to different people, and thank God for that. How beautiful it is to witness the waypoint between so many adjacent journeys. But some have and will see this platform as a low-cost extra equinox, opportunity to work on the flex. But performative strength lacks stamina, and DPL never skips leg day. 3, to speak, to shape my sound, manifest strength through strangers, willing to witness what I have to offer, more so. 4, to listen, to get my own head out of my own ass so I can learn a thing or two from that 7-year-old Or that 70-year-old going up for the first time to speak their truth with more courage than I could ever muster. 5, to love the poem and the poets, hard as that may be, when the writing is gas but the person is trash or just full of shit. Cognitive dissonance is a hell of a drug, and I would know. I'm still trying to believe in my identity beyond my ideals. 6, that great poems are like great sex. The style may differ from person to person, but when you know it, you'll feel it. Truth can always overshadow technique, but when you put the two together, well then fuck. Literally. Because DPL is home to this and so much more than meets the eye. It's like 7. DPL is Olive Garden, with poets as unlimited as breadsticks, and that they will probably be cut off after 12 to 15, but also in that when you're here, you're family. 8, DPL is family. And yes, that does mean that occasionally extended kin come incorrect, disrupt the status quo, but still deserve the benefit of the doubt at least the first time. I know I did not know the difference between parody and poetry until I was given the gift of context. 9, DPL is a conversation between legacy and agency, between where we've been and what we've yet to become. And when we feel lost, unable to interpret our surroundings, it's easy to look to the legend for guidance, but it, won't always be there to read forever, so it is up to us to make more map, break new ground. 10, DPL is Asgard. Not a place, but a people. It's anywhere anyone who has given their heart to this place decides to go. And as long as those folks and the many, many more in the years to come keep that love and spirit of poetry alive, then DPL can be wherever you need it to be. Thank you. That is one of the poems featured in this book, Play, A Reclamation of Soul, which you can purchase in the lovely Beyond Baroque bookstore. It is $23. It's practically free. And I'm very blessed to have been published by the World Stage Press. You can also find it on the World Stage Press website if they sell out in the bookstore. For this last poem, I wanted to share a piece that I feel very inspired by and evokes the fun that I get to have at DPL, because DPL is a place where all poetry is accepted. And one of my favorite poets is here tonight, coming up after me, Blue. So I wanted to dedicate this poem to my friend Blue, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Can you guys do me a favor and rub your hands together, and I'm gonna try and convert all this kinetic energy into poetry. On the count of 3, I'm gonna ask y'all to clap, and then I'll do my poem. 1, 2, 3. So every time I shine on the mic, I'm met with a range of responses, mostly well-intentioned, with folks new and old expressing their blessings towards my penchant to be bold. Some less positively opinionated, others saying I'm just so-so. But every time, there's always at least one curious cat in the crowd who asks, Soul, why are you so damn cheesy? To which I reply, with a full moon glowing in my molars, you ain't seen nothing yet. My typical set, just an amused boosh. This ain't even the full platter, pal. More like a mini, witty bite meant to whet your mental appetite. Show that I know how to get down with the funk, but up in the groove, yeah. My competitors can barely calm and bear it, but I don't care. This process ain't processed. I am as fresh as it gets. An artist and artisanal, baby, Swiss like an army knife. So multi-purpose, I am perfect in the cut. Or if y'all need that grit done right, my rhyme's so sharp it's like a burrata bomb to a pun fight. Mano y Romano, you don't want this smoke. I am my own enzyme. Went from amateur to provolone. And I know so much because I've honed my craft. Stay cooking because I never take it easy, Mac. I am the culture I was created from. Yet still finding new mics and mouths to feed. Even when I've spread myself thin, I stay consistent and smooth. Always on the move, because anywhere I see, I go, I stay cold, B. A known entity from SD to Monterey. Jack my style? Sure, you can try, but my true tribe will know that's not your riz. No matter what whiz tries to imitate my flavor, my true fans savor when I serve in person. They see that magic has occurred. I never let anyone get the cheddar of me. Even when I'm grilled, I stay chill, I don't crumble. I am to raise the bar, but also pair well with it. Good with Franks and Steins, call me a monster, with sweeter spots peppered in. I'm American with pinoy skin, sunscaped hands, and pasture eyes. Brought up under heat because of the way Mother Nature packaged me, but never brought to my melting point. It's all good, no parm, no foul, never showed how much I was fed up, made sure I never looked blue. Now, I've molded an entire scene around me, all the while staying a pretty fond dude. And it's true, while some may say I'm an acquired taste, I'm anything but stale. No matter how you slice it, there just ain't no one greater. Even amongst my Hispanic homies, I'm always given the okay, so if you don't get it by now, let me cut to the chase. I am the goat, the Mott's, the Ops, the Havarti starter, the seer of the paneer, the thrice blessed creme fraiche, the one you ricotta see to believe, the big cheese, and you best be out my way. Thank you.
Hey, how great was Soul Stuff? My name's Beth May. I'm so lucky to be here representing DPL, one of my favorite places on the earth. Thank you so much to Beyond Baroque for having us. I'm gonna do 2 poems. The first one, like 7 minutes to convince you to buy my book, which is in the in the store right over there. It's called The Immortal Soul Salvage Yard. Quite the mouthful. I will try to make it palatable. This first poem is from this book. I'm going to do it memorized because I think that's kind of impressive. and it is called Flat Earth. A woman outside a coffee shop in Santa Monica said that I reminded her of her mother. This surprised me because I didn't give her a good look at my face. I was facing away thinking she'd ask me for change. She said I had her mother's blue eyes and her chin. She said that, like her mother, I was also working with a government agency to harvest her neurons for leaders. I sat down with her. Didn't get her name or the name of the alien planet she'd reclaimed from the sun, and I didn't tell her that I played a game, just like this one. Except the sun rises out of the Grand Canyon in my game, and can you see it? And nobody fucking knows this because nobody can see it like me, because it's a matter of depth perception, it's a matter of light deflected, it's a matter of life and death, it's a matter of time before this happens again. I sat down with her. She said, yeah, her mother had blue eyes like mine. She said, a good government clone is hard to find. I found myself talking to a landmine, sunk so deep below ground that her explosion would not shake the surface at all. If the Grand Canyon holds the sun in, then there are worse places to fall. But when you're crazy, the whole world is so far away that it doesn't matter if the earth is round or flat. The poet talks insanity as if it's romantic like that. Thank you. My last poem for you guys is called Goldfish. It's not in this book, but I am working on a new book that it will be in. You should still buy this book if you have. And it's only $15. It's a yeah. This poem is called Goldfish. Grandma and I are caught in loops. Hi, Grandma, it's Beth. I live in Los Angeles and I love it. Traffic's bad, but it gives me time to think. My name? It's Beth. I live in LA and it's great. Traffic? I hate it. It's Beth, Grandma. My name is Beth. It is a myth that goldfish have a 3-second memory. Scientists say there's evidence that many fish, including goldfish, have memories that last months, if not years. One goldfish, we'll call him Howard just because, learned to associate specific sounds with food and perform tricks when cued by the sound even after a 5-month break. No offense to scientists, but it blows my fucking mind that they know so much about goldfish and so little about dementia. Grandma is losing her memory, becoming a paranoid playbook of misery. Grandma is losing her memory. So am I, apparently. Becoming a paranoid pull string of racism and worry, and I am worried that she has always been this person. She's forgot that she shouldn't be. Grandma is losing her memory, and I am losing my patience. I've begun to treat Grandma like a goldfish, like a decoration best admired from across the room, not to be removed from her fragile enclosure lest she drown on dry land. Grandma used to give the best hugs, but now she clings on for dear life. She hates when people say goodbye, but does not realize that she is the one leaving. Grandma and I are both forgetting all the time. She's forgetting my face, and I am forgetting the person she used to be. I'm forgetting a grandma who is not a bitter bigot, a chore, whose words do not disgust me. I'm remembering the fear that I will be next, that hate will bore its way into me like it did Grandma, or worse, that it is already here. Grandma is forgetting her life, and I am forgetting how to love what she has become. We are mourning Grandma while she is still awake, talking about her in uncertain whispers as if she is an unhelpful crossword clue in the puzzle that is her life, and where we fit in and where it ends as if it hasn't already ended. Grandma shows me death while we are both living, reminds me that I'll be forgotten. So I memorized a poem and call it legacy. I miss my old grandma, but call the new one family. I forget if I am losing grandma or losing my humanity. I catch grandma in loops. Introduce myself with the unkindness of pretending I'm somebody I'm not, but the kindness of pretending I'm somebody worth remembering. They say wisdom comes with age, but I think there's a wisdom in knowing it doesn't, that it can depart us at any time like a name on the tip of a tongue. Grandma cannot remember my name, does not recognize that I'm caught in the same loop she is. Hi, Grandma, it's Beth. I live in Los Angeles, and sometimes I feel so alone. The traffic's bad, but it reminds me that I'm going somewhere. My name, it's Howard the Goldfish. I'll remind you in 3 seconds that I love you. Thank you. Wow. Blues up next.
Before we get to the shoes, let's make some more noise for Beth May one more time. Now, thank you on my shoes. I appreciate that. I didn't make them, but I can put you on if y'all are interested at all. You said, how much are they? Shit. I don't know if it's a good financial decision, but they cool now. I'll get it to you after. My name is Josiah. I also go by Blue. That is my stage name. It is a pleasure to be here. Thank you to Beyond Baroque. Thank you to you all for listening. Thank you to Jasmine Williams for welcoming me into LA, period, and then also into the DPL family. I'm very new out here. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Grew up in Virginia. I've been out here for a year. Oh, okay. Let me find out. I've been out here for a year and like some change, and I love everything about the spaces I've been. So that's a testament to poetry, a testament to the community that you all have built. So thank you to you all. I have 2 poems for you today, and the first one, I really loved Beth's piece, so I wanted to do something that's closer to the truth of today to start us off, and then the next piece will be the next piece. This first one, title is Talkative. My middle school report card would read something like, Gym, A. English, A. Math, B. Science, B. Teacher comment, Joshua is a delight to have. An engaged, respectful student. Joshua's me. He's just a bit too talkative in class. Translation, that boy can't stay too long. Translation, he must got something to say, wants to say it with his chest. Translation, his motor runs like black boys at recess, chasing every loose ball before the whistle blows. Growing up, I never saw anything wrong with a little talking. Whispers and jokes here and there between assignments. I was making up for a childhood spent silent. Some say I was timid. I say I was raised not to trust everyone. Some say I mumbled too much. I say I didn't know a man's voice, so it took me some time to find out where to pull the bass from. I kept my words where Ma told me keep my hands. I thought something was wrong with me when I would speak. Everybody wasn't fluent in the languages that lived inside of me. No poetry, no crying, no empathy. They taught me to speak in tongues with the ladies. They gave me condoms and Plan Bs. Papu said I could do whatever I want, just don't bring home no babies. They taught me that that's my grandfather. And whenever he talked, I watched the clock tick until he's done reminiscing, telling me everything he wished he did. You know, men never cared too much about anything, never give a fuck about anything except competition, women, and working after. It's what game we watching, and you still a virgin, ain't got no girlfriend yet. As for my father, I steered the conversations. He drove us apart. I wanted to cruise, control the pace. He wanted to overcompensate. I would be in the passenger seat freezing from full-blown AC on 63 degrees, stomach growling after hours on the road. Nana would ask me if I was cold or hungry. He'd cut her off and tell her no. Tell her she wasn't helping me, she was coddling me. If I needed something, I should speak. And while I understand his approach, I don't think he knows it didn't work the way he hoped. Didn't teach me to speak up. Taught me to stay quiet and cope. But thank God for Nana, for when I didn't have the courage. Thank God for poetry, giving me somewhere to place these words. And thank God to all the teachers in my life who served as a coach. And a special thank you to the one who wrote talkative on my report card notes. Talkative, to be fond of talking, to be full of talk. Translation, I can't stay too long. Translation, I got something to say. I want to say it with my chest. Translation, my motor runs like black boys at recess chasing every loose ball before the whistle blows. Thank you. Thank you. And this next piece, a little more fun. It's a message to all of us, because I assume there's a lot of writers in here. It goes like this. The universe owes all poets, creatives, reparations. With tax, tip, and interest. Personally, I could use a new love interest for every love poem I wrote for folks in hopes that wifey would find me in the crowds I spoke over. I need a Krispy Kreme coffee with caramel drizzled donuts for every time sweet nothings kept me up in the chest of the night, looking for treasures and new discovery amidst these lines. Better yet, give my mother a Birkin bag for every burden I was forced to bear upon birth of this gift, and give my old girlfriend a Telfeezy tote for every time they told her boyfriend to keep his feelings tucked. Ain't it fucked up? Wouldn't you think I had enough? No, it's kind of cool. An OG once told me it's something they call poet's luck. You see, we're blessed with this ability to tell the stories of the nation like pain, pleasure, and love. We are tailors by nature, the way we dress this shit up. I mean, we make it casket sharp. We could even make death digestible. Our pens are scalpels, removing buildup and blockage, injecting gospel into the audience. It's our job as God's vessel. Not to say his name, but to be his veins and let this stage be a confessional, to make ink out of each and every drop of our bloodshed, to turn busboys into poets instead so they can feed features and keep mouths fed. We document history and her story, filling our notes up with fuck-ups, hoping we could turn couplets to a couple bucks, or at least a couple hugs. I mean, it's low-key easy to fall in love, so I'm gonna keep leaning into this thing they call poet's luck, because what we do here, it's not a talent, it's not a skill, it's not a hobby, it's a passion. To experience my life and translate it to writtens, and I'm only sharing it because a mentor once told me that a gift is not a gift if it isn't being given. So viewers, I hope you're listening. For every time you see a poet take the stage, consider what they had to endure for you to sit there and adore. I mean, the messages, the lessons, before you minimize our allure to a simple monotone, hey, that shit was fire, bro. Or, I love what you wrote, but can you read mine, though? It's like you forgot. You just bared witness to live open heart surgery. Tell us we did a damn good job coaching ourselves through the snaps, the ums, the ahs, and letting nouns be our nursery. And poets, oh, poets, it's time for you to realize that what we do up here, it's a universal responsibility. I mean, it's a response ability. It takes humility and vulnerability. So when others are slow to understand, just practice patience. Grab the hand and walk them to the table so they can watch us discuss how to get these reparations. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Let's give it up one more time for Beth May, Blue, Soul Stuff, DPL in the house. That was really great. And Jasmine and I go way back, so it's always good to have Jasmine in the space and for DPL to be here in the space with us. It's really great. So thank you for that. All right, up next, we're going to continue the fire going here at the Wanda Coleman Theater. We've got Writ Large Projects here, and to read a little bit of their work and to also say a little bit about Writ Large and some of the poets that are going to follow, we have Chiwan Choi. Yes, make some noise. Chiwan Choi is the author of 5 books of poetry: The Flood, The Daughter Trilogy, Abductions, The Yellow House, My Name is Wolf, and Sky Songs. He also wrote, presented, and destroyed the novel Ghostmaker throughout the course of 2015. Chiwan is also a partner at the nonprofit literary lab Writ Large Projects. Make some noise for Chiwan Choi.
What? I did my very first reading of my work here in 1988. Wait, can I tell someone to fuck off while I'm up here? it's interesting being here. I've had a love-hate relationship with this place, but it's so good to see good people like Jimmy and Quentin here, taking care of this place for the next generation. So um, I'll introduce the two other writ large associated writers who will be presenting today, and then I'll close out with my own work. Okay, here. Born in Birmingham, Alabama, and fine-tuned in Detroit, Michigan, Ernest Hardy is a writer whose cultural criticism has appeared in New York Times, The Village Voice, Rolling Stone, the LA Times, LA Weekly. He's a contributor to reference books 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die and classic material, The Hip Hop Album Guide. His collection of criticism, Blood Beats Volume 1, Demos, Remixes, and Extended Versions, was a recipient of the 2007 Penn Beyond Margins Award. Blood Beats Volume 2, The Bootleg Joints, was published in February 2008 and will be publishing his newest book, an incredible book called Emotional Anthropology. The full title is like Fiona Apple length title, but Emotional Anthropology, Ernest Hardy. Our other reader is Seohyun Ryu. She's a writer and California art scholar, fond of connecting the study of language and storytelling. She enjoys exploring various forms of art. Seohyun is currently working on her first book to make her childhood dreams come true. She's also part of the teen poetry group, the 309 Collective, who are a group of California-based teens who are learning not to rely on editors or publishers or anything, just do everything on their own, because you can. It's 2024, and fuck everybody. So please welcome our first reader, who I'm just honored to have worked with for the past few years and can't wait for his book to come out, Ernest Hardy.
It's like taking the condom off before fucking, right? First, I want to really give so much love and appreciation to the poets who've already read. All of you are fantastic, just amazing. So I'm really kind of impressed and in awe of everyone who's already read. My first poem is called The Walk, a presidential inauguration poem. Tiki torch spines give the boys their proud gait as they stroll the neighborhood they've gentrified and bleached into blandness and atomized violence from which only their clan is granted immunity. Their street theater is fueled by myths of superiority, by white supremacist media, Fox News, CNN, New York Times, LA Times, and vigorously whitewashed school book propaganda that leads them to believe their rightful destiny can only manifest at the expense of those whose skin and culture are nothing like theirs. They always look like they've just come from a session of genocide, mass rapes, and forced displacement of the other, and are now really feeling themselves. They're just smart enough to know they should be angry at being fucked over by the mechanisms and machinations of America, but neurotransmitters sputter and die after birthing that epiphany, and before correctly identifying their story's real villain, the country they love, its au-fait architects and modern-day masters. They slaughter scapegoats and feast on the flesh. Theirs is a walk that says, I can do whatever I want, take whatever I want, live wherever I want, rape whoever I want, kill whoever I want. No fear of consequence. Secure in the knowledge that state-paid assassins roll in at my command to blast you darkies out of existence. They get it from their daddy. White women got that same walk. They feign innocence and fragility, but are capable of depths of evil white men can only dream about. White womanhood is their shield, deflecting accountability and responsibility. Their tears are assault weapons that have left countless black people riddled with bullets or swinging from ropes. They get it from their mama. Susan Sontag, a notable white woman, said it best, quote, the truth is that Mozart, Pascal, Boolean algebra, Shakespeare, parliamentary government, Baroque churches, Newton, the emancipation of women, Kant, Marx, and Balanchine ballets don't redeem what this particular civilization has wrought upon the world. The white race is the cancer of human history. It is the white race and it alone, its ideologies and inventions, which eradicates autonomous civilizations wherever it spreads, which has upset the ecological balance of the planet, which now threatens the very existence of life itself. End of quote. Ms. Sontag wrote that in her essay, What's Happening in America, published by the Partisan Review in 1966. And who am I, mere Negro homosexual, to disagree with a white woman? This is called Politics and Theory. He wants to talk politics and theory, and I can bullshit my way through that bullshit, but I just want him to fuck me, to push me beyond the borders and boundaries that gird me, to violently shove me outside myself, and then torch the framework. I want to be thoroughly erased, to cease all thought and feeling, except for the excruciating effort to accommodate him. I want to slow screw against the wall, to close my eyes, to clench my fist, to make him nut, to vanish. And this is called Dear Arthur Jafa. Arthur Jafa, for those of you who may not know, is an amazing Black American filmmaker, visual artist, and I wrote this, and I've worked with him a few times. I wrote this and sent it to him, and his response was interesting. Dear Arthur Jafa, I want to give your brain, fillet the neurons firing your mind. Let me deep throat your brilliance, have you skeet all your cerebral babies down my throat. I want to be fucked doggy by the complexity of your thought process, sodomized by the layered nuance of your intellect. I want to be internally cream pied by the ferocity of your genius. Long strokes, hard strokes, slow strokes, hip twisting, pelvis grinding, core working strokes. I want that shit to hurt so good it makes my eyes roll back into my head so I can see my own thought patterns being reprogrammed by your mental jackhammer thrust. I no longer trust what I once thought I knew. The gaps in my knowledge leave me chagrined and silent when raised, smart voices are called for. My untutored, unfocused, undisciplined mind shames and humbles me. So much of what I've imbibed is wrong and useless. I'm afraid I'm not up to the task of the world that has arrived with thundering footsteps and dark, foreboding skies. I don't want to be one of these Negroes flossing for the camera, sound bites, poses, and facile commentary, reupholstering the status quo under the guise of liberation and revolution, tweeting at Beyonce to boost my profile and boost my celebrity activist brand, stacking social, cultural, political currency to be spent on a ticket for a seat at the table. You already know some of these Negroes are wired. I hear you speak, AJ, and I know that's some real shit. But hey, I did not mean to be crude, talking about sucking and riding dick. I have a whole tongue and a whole means of conceptualizing the world. I come from a long line of hoes on both sides of my family. The men and women, gay and straight, and well, nigga, how much you got? I hear you speak, and I know that's that real shit. And since I'm already up here hoeing, I'm going to read my final piece, All I Need, the Rock Wilder remixes. Mix 1. Ever have one of those days you wake up and think, God damn, I want to suck Method Man's dick? Mix 2. Ever have one of those days you wake up and think, God damn, I want to suck Redman's dick? Mix 3. You ever have one of those days you wake up and think, today is a lovely day for a train? Thank you.
Whoa. Oh. So I don't have anything printed out because I'm a screenager, and so I'm gonna be using my phone, and I'm gonna be reading 2 pieces. And yeah, the first piece is something I wrote like a while ago, and I haven't looked at it. in like forever. So I'm interested how this is gonna go. And yeah. Okay. The title is This World Always Never Ends. It's blue. We scream at the top of our eyes. Our eyes are blind and bold from the red traffic light. The traffic light turns green. My mom sees these lights as blue. Her seasoned spinach is blue, but from her eyes, they're the color of my mother's mother. My grandma is purple. I turn the volume up. But for my mom, she's red flowers, or bleeding hearts. At this point on the road, I can't feel the difference between tears and sweat. They're both liquid, sticky and wet. I open the window to freeze the water and the time. The wind glides in between my fingers and brings back something I've forgotten. I don't want to go back. My mom got mad at me this morning for never looking ahead. The future, I don't like thinking of the future because there's no future after death. The music is too loud. She doesn't believe that I could die because she'll never hear my last breaths during her lifetime. To her, I never die. And she might not be wrong. If I didn't see the red traffic light flickering to the color blue, did it ever turn blue? At least in the world I live in, it didn't turn blue. I can't hear anything. It never turned blue. The song comes to an end, and I see a speck of light in the sky. It might just be a satellite, but I want it to be a star. The satellite turns into a star. As I beg for this world to never end, I pluck the star out and tattoo it onto my ear. But my parents answer me back with ends and beginnings. It always and never ends. Should I cross out always or never? Does it even matter? The star explodes in my ear. It rings. The car stops. We're now 2 minutes and 57 seconds closer from the sun consuming our future and future. But I sold my world for this very moment, so who cares? I replay the song, This World. And what's the first one? And this is my second poem I wrote super recently. Kini would know. And yeah, it's called I Asked Myself on My 18th Birthday. What have you lost to become the person you are today? I've lost my AirPods multiple times. Found them once underneath my bed sheets, on top of the wardrobe, next to my mom's slippers, and in my stomach. So I had to use the ones with wires, tangled and twisted like my stomach. But I was too full to shove my hands in my mouth, so I just plugged the end of the wire into my ears and eyes. Because I would rather hear the scream than to see him cry. Screaming that his least favorite word is pogi. But oh, forgive me when I say that giving up is the only gift I want for my birthday. He got me a new pair of AirPods for my birthday. I've lost, not forget, my memory of us when I was in middle school, and I would love to tell you what happened, but I've lost it until he brought it back, sugar-coated with pink icing and a cherry on top. I've lost his faith in me, my dad's. When he begged me not to grow up too fast, I burnt his wishes along with the candles on my cake. But I also burnt my tongue for the appetizer, so I guess we're even. It tasted sweet. I was kind of hoping that it would taste bitter, but it was sweet, so damn sweet. Maybe I should have listened to my dad when he begged me not to grow up too fast, or maybe his wish did come true, because the truth is, I've lost my way to adulthood. Got stuck on the border between a girl and a woman, between sucking on my thumb after eating a bag of chips and rinsing it off with water, between driving to the Lover album on the highway like there's no tomorrow and getting caught up by the fear of the moment ending, between crouching to find thin stones perfect for skipping and hating my warped reflection, between imitating my dad's silver hair and knowing I'll never be able to lift my feet off the border between his name and mine. So he asked himself on my 18th birthday, what have you lost to become the person you are today? And was it really worth bleeding than to let the words faster beneath your skin? But it's too late to ruin the party. So he bought me a vanilla ice cream cake with 2 candles, waxed a 1 and a 8 from across the street. And I blew out the candles in exchange for another wish. Thank you.
y'all. Children are our future. I'll be reading a couple of pieces from my latest book, Sky Songs, which is all inspired by my love of pop songs. And it's divided up into 4 albums. And I'll be reading a couple of pieces from the final album, which is called, I'll read to you who it was inspired by. Damn kids. It's called Exile. And this 4th part was inspired by Phineas, Julian Baker, Renee Rapp, Boy Genius, and Taylor Swift. This piece is called Clean Me. Oh, shit. Clean me. Disappointments will come in shapes never seen. I am on the couch, trying to see in and through the dark. The smell of day-old fish lingers in the hallway, like imagined footsteps, even after the trash has been taken out. My skin lies about my sins, like French music in your mother's history of wanting. I'm the echo of your cup hitting the counter when you finished your coffee and left. Ice song. This is ice, I say to her. But we are just walking out of a bar around the corner. It's 4 p.m. and summer has gone. And what I mean is my fingers are curling tight around cold air, listening to the screaming inside me. What do you call this? I ask her. When I mean, how do I know what to wish for her when everything I want turns muddy? How do I choose between living and a new thing? She says, this is sleet, but she means hold out your arm so I can hold on to your broken elbow as we walk. But she means don't let me down anymore. But she means why couldn't we have a child? This is ice, I say. And I mean to tell her that I am frozen somewhere in a past my body won't let me send for. Hold on to my bent bones because I am slipping away. This is called Exile Song. I traced the map of home on your back with my finger as you slept turned away from me. But when I returned from my exile of fear, you'd shed your skin to be born into the life that was meant for you. And it was too late, too long, past too full of regret to find a road curling into the sky. Alone, captive, learning that living had always been lonelier than God standing in a land on fire, feet bare, too busy with judgment to hear my question about the missing of my life. I traced my way. I erased my way. I chased your forgiveness around the sharp turn of your hip away from me when I reached for the Barcelona sun on the creases of your skin in slumber. The exile having been too long to recreate the shape of hope we made with our touch. In a burning room on a coast far away from the first place I'd ever wanted to call home. I've come back, but the road took almost everything from me. The road, it took almost all of me. This last piece is called Por los siglos de los siglos. I hope in one of all the lifetimes to come, I'll stop disappointing you. Thank you.
Chiwan Choi, folks, writ large project in the house. Make some noise. Chiwan, Ernest, DPL, thanks for being here. We have pizza in the back in the Poets Garden, and then we've got some fresh